This is Leeds, and Leeds United have bottled promotion back to the Premier League, losing to Southampton at Wembley, which is going to cost the club millions and a place at the top. As this man got it all wrong, Daniel Farke, a manager that's used to winning leagues with Norwich City. As today he's going to have to try and put the loss behind him, taking Leeds United back to where they belong. As here he is in game, he's got that black polo t-shirt on, the one he lost at Wembley in. Maybe a bad omen. But hey, we know he's been overshadowed by this man here, alongside a set of challenges. As yes, that's right, bottling promotion doesn't come without a contract that he has to abide by. With the first thing on that contract being he has to make in the championship 100 million before he can spend anything. As the other rule, we've changed our youth academy approach a little bit. We don't have to get one player each season into the team, but instead we have to have 3 in the final for the Champions League, which is the ultimate aim. As Leeds have done all right with youth players over the years, the most well-known one, Calvin Phillips. As he's not here though, and this is the team we've got a squad worthy of Premier League promotion. But of course we know it'll change. We've got to try and set a tactic, and we have to somehow raise 100 million. Now somehow we already have 39 million. I'm not going to actually use that. I'm going to make 100 mil on top of it, as these are all the players we've got, and to be fair, 40 odd players, we should make the money easy, especially with the likes of Robin Koch, Llorente, Woba. Rodon's actually in on loan, but then there is Harrison, Christiansen, Rocker, and I'm pretty sure a few more that we can sell on. So yeah, the first thing I've done is brought them all back and transfer listed them. But will that make us 100 mil? I don't know. We can't make signings till we make the money, as I'm going to go with tiki-taka for the playstyle. And I'm not changing formation. This is what we're going with. Perot up front instead of Patrick Bamford. That's the call I'm making, as it's time to sell players. But the first bid for our captain, Ethan Ampadu. 11.4 million from Lens. I mean, I'm probably going to have to negotiate. We need to make money, as it wouldn't be an ideal loss. But the first one out the door is actually not him. It is the defender, Diego Llorente, who sold for almost 12 million. A good sum of money for him, as we're going to have to keep checking them until we make our 100 mil. As the second one out of the club, it is Ethan Ampadu, 14.1. Didn't want to get rid of this man. And Aronson, the next one, 7.2. It is not good enough. That is 34 million so far. Gotta hurry this up, because I do want to bring players in. A nice little 10 million for Christiansen, the right back. And hopefully Robin Koch's deal goes through. That is 20 million right there. But an offer we've got in, Crescencio Somerville, the championship player of the season, eventually does leave us, not to Stuttgart though, instead going to Leipzig. A huge loss and a steal for the German club, as he joins a long list of sold players right here, taking our budget to 140 million, meaning we have done it with 1 million extra. As this is the team we're left with, and if you think the ratings are quite high, it is because we just simmed straight to the end of the season, where we finished top. Daniel Farke, not messing around this time, 0 signings made, but first in the league. 102 points and 101 mil profit, as we lose to the team with 115 charges. So close in the FA Cup as Manchester City win the Carabao, and let's check our team that's gone straight to the Premier League. As this is what it looks like. I'm not celebrating too early though, because we're not going to have an 100 million plus budget next year, and we have to get youth into this squad, which is too good already for youth. We're going to have to slow down, as Woba survived the listings. He didn't get transferred out, as you can see our main players, Rutter and Perot, with plus 20 goals each, which are kind of fully expected, as Sam Greenwood on loan at Middlesbrough, 16 goals. Could he be useful to us? You never know, he could be, as before we get into it, another challenge, but this challenge is for you guys. If you could help us get to 30,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it. please subscribe if you haven't done. Would mean the world to me, as yes, I'm going to put him on the bench, but is this team good enough to survive in the Premier League? I don't know, as we're losing 2 players this season, Sam Byram and, of course, Captain Liam Cooper, club captain I should say, as the new captain of the team in the Premier League. Pascal Struijk gets the armband. As it's time to focus on the team, now we've actually made the money and completed the first challenge, we do have a gem here, of course in Archie Gray, and Wilfred Gnonto, who is a player I fully expected to lose in Season 1. Somehow we've kept him, and we've kept 45 million of the 103 I believe we raised in the end. Not really special, is it, as the first one's going on this Norwegian scout and the second lot on coaches, leaving us a bit of a budget of 39 million. But before we actually spend it, we do get our scout report back immediately this season. And have we anything special? Well, we do have 360 plus rated in Ellis Fawn, Sadler, and Arthur Harris. Them 3 getting loan listed, but of course we've got to go and sign players, so what position really do we have to focus upon? I mean, when we have a closer look, it's blatantly obvious we do need a left back. Sorry, Jamie Shackleton. Maybe you could challenge Drama, who still isn't the best himself. Fullbacks are definitely needed, and also a bench centre-back. As let's focus one at a time, shall we, on these signings, as Mikel Karbaunik, he has to be the left back. And that's what he'll be, funnily enough, in the Premier League. And this is our first signing already of the save. Took some time cooking up that one, as the second centre-back I want to bring in, a left-footed backup, Jacob Greaves of Hull, who just like Somerville, who we sadly lost, was in the team of the season last year for the championship. As this is what our new lineup looks like right now, I'm very much happy with it. I know there's some exceptions. Not much growth from Gnonto. Kamara could be stronger. Archie Gray isn't the strongest, but of course he's got a lot of time to grow. And so of these players right here, the lads we got out on loan, one of the youngsters in particular, Vaughan, looking promising. Good to see the young lads are coming through in the team, as in the first season in the Premier League. Wow, we do just survive by 2 points in the end, which is very jammy, you know. Let's hope we're better next year. As what's the team looking like? Wow, I mean, I've kind of robbed the bench a bit. We didn't have a backup striker. My bad, as also a weird thing, Carl Darlow has started games over Meslier in goal, who is 80 rated. Was his form bad or something? It says team performance was good, as another player that's down on form is Jorginho Ruta, who didn't score as many goals, but we are a division above. Maybe he's not doing as great because Geldhard is playing. Or Geldhard, however you say it, as Forest and Everton meet in the FA Cup final. Very interesting one, that one. With Manchester City winning the Carabao Cup. And our youth players, well, getting a couple of upgrades. You can see Monteiro is at a 70 rated. And Mateo Joseph at a 74. But it's these 3 we care about, with only Vaughan really improving. As season number 3, how much money do you have for me? 48 million? That's okay. I mean, the first lot's going straight into this man, because we need youth players. Sven Hansen, get your job done, mate. Just noticed he's Norwegian, as hopefully he can find another Haaland, and we've got these players that we found right here. Vaughan, the English keeper, maybe gets in the team somehow. As speaking of England, I do have the England kit on. It is the moment in the video where I tell you about Soccer Deal Shop, the sponsor. You can find it down below in the description. And use MWS at checkout to get yourself 10% off. You can get this England shirt, this year's, for a very cheap price. As you've got to admit, they're ridiculous pricing, as this is what our team looks like on paper, with the ratings only 3 above 80. As positionally, I think Gnonto's got potential, but Dan James on the other wing, he could be replaced. As I've got one player in mind, but before we show you that one player, we've got Jasper Buckley and another keeper through the academy, which onto the loan list they go as the player I want to sign. I never said anything about re-signing players from seasons before. Crescencio Somerville. I really want to use this guy. Of course, we couldn't use him first season as we had to raise the money, but this season he's back, coming for 18.5 million. That is really good, because that's less than what we sold him for. As I might just rock with that, you know. I do see we've got drama, but I think he could grow a bit and hopefully grow into that spot more, as it's all about youth players now. But I do have one position change to make. Gruev now an 80. That is a brilliant rating for the Bulgarian. As another position change we're making is this man, Jasper Buckley, one of the youth players we brought through. It's a +1. I mean, I don't mind it, but still, we're going to progress him by sending him on loan along with the other ones, which I'm going to do now, and you're going to see right here. What a transition that was, as there we go, getting them all out, and I believe that's us done. Ready for the Prem season. As I'm feeling pretty confident that we've had a good season. We finished 17th. And 6 points from relegation. The fact that Stoke almost caught us. Terrible season for the Whites here, as Brighton and Wolves in the FA Cup final. Carabao won by Manchester City, and a very unhappy squad here with Leeds United. Is this the sign of a flush out? Maybe it is so, because that on paper is a really good rated squad. To finish 4th from bottom with an 84 rated, a new Somerville who is 83 rated. Honestly unbelievable, is he only got 9 goals. Joel Perreault basically saving us, and you expect him to do with that rating. That's honestly dreadful. The only good thing it really does is tell us that next season we need to get playing some of these youth players. A dreadful season, as the first thing I'm going to point out before anything, Archie Gray, still at a 76. No potential unlock from him. Maybe it's Gruev. Maybe we need another midfielder at the side of him. Or maybe it's the formation. I want to make some changes in personnel, but also the way we play, really. So we're going with a 4-3-3. And that, of course, isn't good for some players in particular. You might be looking at Ruta, but he's not the change I want to make. As you can see, I'm going to train him to actually be our left winger, as it's Nonto that I want out. He has not been good enough. A 77 rated at 22-year-old just hasn't worked out for him. And also Kamara, 30-year-old 76. With a CDM in the team, we need a capable one at least. And I don't think he is that one. As could we get our capable man through the academy as £63 million? That is not a bad budget at all. But yes, as I said, any good young players this season? Not really. All aboard the loan list for them, as we need to get cooking with the youth players, really. First change I'm going to make is Joseph. I'm going to try and sell him and put Harris on the bench. Trying to reset this club completely, and one player that wanted out, Maximilian Europa, wanted out in real life, putting that dodgy loan clause in his contract, as we have sold Ilan Meslier for 36 million. A big sum of money, as we need Nonto replacing, and what better signing to make than Rafinha, another ex-player coming back to the club. Positionally, did we need him? Not one bit, but if you think I was passing on this man for under 40 million, you were mistaken, as he goes on the right wing, Somerville coming across, and Ruta, whilst he trains, can be on the bench. Not a convincing left wing yet, but a convincing CDM. Calvin Phillips, let's bring him back to Leeds for a little bit of overpayment, but I definitely love having this man in as he completes the team for the 26-27 season. And signing the old players up, it hasn't done as badly, has it? 10th in the table. Still not where we want to be. Leeds United will always push higher, as Newcastle and Leicester are the FA Cup final. As it seems there's still no trophy here for us. West Ham winning the Carabao, as this is what our team looks like. We've still got position changes to make. But before we get onto them, Vaughan, absolutely brilliant. Archie Gray now going up. And look at Joel Perreault. A spectacular effort, getting 15 goals, but our top scorer this season, of course, is Rafinha. You love to see it, as our youth players that we got out on loan. There's one down here in Perkins who's gone to a 73, and Joseph 82. Now, I want to play this man Harris, but Joseph 82, maybe we make money off him. I'll probably go and sell him, as Rutter is going to be an 85 left wing. That is a brilliant position swap, as Geldhard goes to a 74 right wing, and Dan James, the backup, going to a 77. As is this just season 4? My mind escapes me, as look at our defense, man. That is the next place to improve. With whatever money we get, we are stacked for attackers. Just look at his bench as well. 3 brilliant options. Also a few good youth players on there, as 135 million. I'm actually thinking for once that is too much money to have, as we had a little bit from last year because we sold more than we bought, but we have to get youth players into this team, and that money just makes me want to spend. Just gotta restrict yourself, Max, as the players through the academy, well, the best one, again, Jamie Smart, an attacker. Could we have an attacker, please? As Jasper Buckley, though, he's a defender we'll loan out, I think, one more time. Same with Nicholas Sadler, and to be fair, Arthur Harris. Whilst Joseph's at the club, we could still loan this man out. But less of the loan talk, come on. We've got this man, Ozan Kabak. I might be completely wrong on this one, but was he with Fark at Norwich? Either way, he's here now, joining up with a manager here for Leeds United for only 16 million. A steal of a signing, that one, as he goes next to Pascal Struijk, the Dutchman, as we sign another Dutchman in Jordan Teze. Nice one, shoring up this defence very well. A lot of Dutch players in this squad, as we still need a left back. And guess what? We're going back there again. Both to Holland and Leipzig. Our third player from both in Hartman, the left back. Very capable team now, as Struijk is on last watch. He is the captain of the club, but still, he's only in there because he's our best left-footed centre-back, I believe, still at the club, as the last thing that we've done is loan out our youngsters. Bennett and Buckley, they sound like Chuckle Brother twins, getting some decent loans off, and I hope it works out for them, as it's sure to be a better season with our rejuvenated defence, but it is a lot of changes to make in one swoop. 11th in the Premier League? Are you kidding me? We need to be higher. How have we not got Europa League by now? At a minimum, as all my days I've spoke too soon. We do win the FA Cup, which puts us in the Europa League. Brilliant as a double? Nope, sadly not. I don't know what to make of this season. A cup, but league failure. Still, it's a route for the Champions League the year after that, and gives us a little bit of time to get the best out of our youth players, as the first change, Rutter into the team. Now, he's already better than Somerville. What an improvement for Jorginho. He was out of the squad at one point, but changed his position and got back in, scoring 18 goals, Rafinha with 15, and Joel Perreault with a massive 25. Love it, but he'll still face pressure, as Somerville goes to an 87 as a left wing. Oh my days, we've got 2 brilliant left wingers. Or actually make that 3, because one of our loan players, Bennett, 77 rated at only 18. Genuinely getting difficult now, as look at that comparison. Do we drop Rafinha in favour of Somerville? That is a difficult change, but I am going to go ahead and do it, as also, sadly, the time is over for Struijk. The club captain has faltered, so onto the transfer list he goes, as we've got Greaves, Kabak, even this man Buckley, with potential to be special, which has me thinking maybe this season we sign an old centre-back? Someone like this man, Jose Maria Jimenez. He's 33-year-old, should cope with the Europa League, but then start going down, giving Buckley the chance to rise above and get himself into the first team, making the second youth player starting 11 worthy. As welcome to Leeds United, mate. Hopefully your time here is short, sweet, and welcomed with a Europa League trophy. As there he is going in. Needs to rise the ratings of those around him, as the next player I believe is out. Sorry to say, but it's Calvin Phillips. He'll still have a bench place as we can sell Glenn Kamara and welcome this younger player, Joan Le Pendant. I'm probably saying it all wrong, but 76 million's a bit excessive. Still, we do have the money, so we'll just go ahead and pay it. A very expensive lad, this one, but he has gone up a rating since we started negotiations. So maybe we got a good deal. As another thing that's a good deal, we have sold Struijk for like 20 million to Spurs, who is going to be a backup at. But as long as he's not a backup here, taking some of Buckley's game time, as that is our Europa League group, which I hope, of course, we win. As come on, lads, how have we done? It is not a relegation fight. That's different to normal. As long as we're not 10th, which we aren't, Liverpool 11th, so where are we? Alright, we're 1 up. 9th. Really? 9th in the Premier League? A negative goal difference? No Europa football. The FA Cup won by Newcastle United. Oh, but the Carabao Cup! We do get ourselves a trophy. Get that one added to the cabinet. As you can see, we topped our Europa group. We did win it, ever so slightly over Zagreb, putting us into the round of 16 where we beat Manchester United, we beat Leicester City, and we beat Villarreal, leading to a final where we beat the kings of the Europa League. Sevilla are toppled and Leeds are Champions League. Get in there. How have we managed that? And also, how have Leipzig managed to get in the final of the Champions League when we've robbed all their players? Bit of an unusual one, that one, I've got to be honest, as look at our front three. Rutter, Perrault and Somerville. Has to be the greatest in the league as our gamble paid off. Buckley 83, but the unusual thing about it, he's going to be replacing Jimenez, but it's Kabak that he's replaced, making the defender very unhappy. But I'll still put him in there, why not? Can't take Jimenez out really when it seems like he's had a good impact, but our biggest impact from Perrault, scoring 24 goals. Love it, Joey boy, as Leeds are Champions League worthy. 123 million. Can that improve our league position? Because that's where we're struggling. Our attack looks good enough for this season, just probably a centre-back, and I am sorry to Jimenez, because he really has helped the team. Also, a backup keeper could help us. We don't have one down here, but we do have a good player. Harris, who looks like he could be a better winger than Struijk, and 95 dribbling, and a lot of really decent young players. As you might have noticed, we haven't touched the academy in a while, but we do have academy players here just better than normal, who we will keep loaning out. As look at the ratings already. We're in the Champions League, you know. Could we go straight for it? I mean, Leipzig reaching the final, and we took a lot of their players as Malik Thiaw of Atleti. That is another player I want to take. As the German swaps Atleti for a bit of Yorkshire sunshine, as this, if I'm not mistaken, is Farke's first German signing. Took a little bit of a while, but at least he is here now. We just need a backup keeper, then I believe we're set to go. As the German manager only just managed to sign his first actual German player, but as the saying goes, everything comes in twos. As Mio Backhouse arrives to be the backup to Ellis Vaughan, as I've actually struggled getting young players out on loan this season. Looks like no one wanted to take a gamble on the good youngsters. They can stay here though, and maybe play in some of the Champions League games. And with the attack that we had, yes, we're focused on the Champions League, but I expect better in this Premier League table. Brighton going down, and how have we finished 12th? Leeds United, the gift that keeps on giving. I do have a soft spot for Leeds, but this bottling malarkey just really isn't doing it. Not in the FA Cup final, not winning the Carabao, as Palace winning that one and coming second in our group, but still remaining unbeaten. Bruges giving it a fight, as we did beat Leipzig, our feeder club, in round of 16, then in the quarter-finals, beating Paris 3-2, and then beating Milan, with Monaco beating Barca. A Monaco finale. Not what I expected, and I didn't expect these ratings. Just look at the front five. All over 90. Same with the youngster Vaughan in goal, and then the defense is pretty good, but I've just realized something. And something quite crucial. Vaughan is one of the youngsters. Bennett is one of the youngsters. But as you can see on that bench, there's only one in Bennett. So Harris, who's down here in the reserves and hasn't played, has to replace Joseph on the bench. And them two need to come on the field in this final, as it means one of these attackers right here is going to have to come off. And that could be dangerous, as between them they've got a lot of goal contributions, or two of them have. Somerville disappearing. I mean, as long as he turns up here, to some extent at least. If he doesn't really, I mean, we can put Bennett on in his position, which helps us complete our objective, really, of having youngsters step on the pitch in this final against Monaco. Bad challenge by Tiao there. See, I think it's our defence that's led to a stinky Premier League position, although it's not fully stinky. A lot of 80-plus players in that lineup as they've got the ball back in the box. You don't lose it right there, and they've put it over. Not a good start, and all my days they've took the ball off us, and we've looked out again. What are we doing at the back? I mean, more importantly, how have they missed that up front, as we've got to try and get past our man here, Jordan Teze. Calvin Phillips retiring in the top corner. Maybe he could get an appearance as the ball back in the middle. Okay shot, I guess. I mean, it's come from our defensive midfielder in this formation, as that is not helping Rutter. Do not lose the ball, as Buckley's got to come across, and it's straight into Vaughan's hands, who's kind of keeping us in it. Although he was beaten at one point when they rattled that crossbar. As can we get away right here? Lependon, Perot is through. It's Joel Perot one-on-one. The Dutchman can't miss, and he does miss. Wow! For a 94 rated, that is disastrous, as he can't win the header. Don't know who that was winning the header, but Somerville to keep this alive with a pass into Lependon. It's a few good flicks, and it's Gruev off target with an extremely poor shot, and Archie Gray's got beaten. He's been quite disappointing in this finale. As Tiao coming across, he's took out his man, and he's already on a yellow card. Referee's going to do the obvious here. We've been shambolic at the back, and it is a second yellow card in the first half for the German. Come on, the whole point of doing this rebuild is because Leeds United bottled it in a final, and they can't bottle it again, as we've gone down to 10 men, but a decent run from Gruev. Rutter in the middle. It's a very weak shot, which was the last one of the first half, as we need to be better in the second. Archie Gray skipping away. Somerville, that's just an easy pass, Archie. Extremely wrong, as Perot, you have got to get on that bad touch from Bade, but still, we do win the ball back right here. Somerville, just pass it inside. Perot, get the run off. Archie Gray through the middle. The Leeds through and through. Youngster is saved by the keeper. Still not threatening enough, though. And no, don't let them score. Monaco coming close right here. The only good bit of defending, and it's from Buckley. Brilliant. Who isn't alone, by the way, anymore. We did sub, I think it was Kabak on in centre-back to help him. As look at Bennett go, the youngster. Rutter was through the middle, but instead I'm going to try and switch this to Harris, the other youngster, back into Archie Gray, the other youngster, and that is brilliant football. It's Harris who is through, and that deserved a goal. Really, how have we not scored? Still Bennett going to link up with Harris right here. Harris further out wide, gives it inside to Bennett, onto Archie Gray. Rutter, if he can shoot better than the first half, and he does, you know, it's Rutter who scores in the 85th minute to surely seal a Champions League victory for the Whites. They are not bottling a final, and it's a man who played in the real-life final. Against Southampton at Wembley, there was tears on the field for Rutter, but finally he gets his own back, hopefully winning the Champions League. As not long for the whistle, and it's gone whilst I was speaking. Leeds United have won the Champions League, completing the overall aim, making the bottle jobs win the biggest trophy of them all, as a youngster's going to be lifting it. Vaughan, the goalkeeper, what a move it was replacing Meslier. This has been a very successful one, rebuilding a team that's just failed. As if you want me to do that with any other team that you think's failed, or just needs a rebuild in general, comment it down below.